we have a passage. So first let's take a look at the directions, go through this and then we'll come to the questions. Okay, this is how it goes. Read the paragraph and answer the question that follows it. Now as you can see, there are certain places where certain numbers have been given and what has to be done we'll come to know later. Unlike Britain, the Indian Constitution has a Bill of Rights. This was a break with the past and the roots of the change lay in the history of the Indian freedom. Prior to the enactment of the Parliamentary Act of 1935, demands were made India for the incorporation into the Act a Bill of Rights. This demand was rejected by the British government following its own tradition that freedom was best preserved not by constitutional provisions but by adherence to the rule of law and to unwritten practices and conventions. This was not to the Indian mind, which had long suffered from discriminations, disabilities and oppressive acts of the foreign rulers. To Indians, as to most modern minds, a Bill of Rights was an essential feature of a complete constitution. It has been said that the Indian reaction in enacting the Bill of Rights, like the American reaction, is in large measure a product of the British rule. The Indian Bill of Rights, in a certain measure, the pattern of the Constitution of the United States of America, but it has also borrowed from other constitutions and some of the provisions are indicative of the peculiar difficulties of the institutions of the country itself. Okay, so this was this long drawn paragraph and at certain points we had these numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4 and also 5. Pick the most appropriate word to fill 1. Okay, the place numbered or marked 1 in the given passage, the, in, on, with. So we have to choose which preposition should be inserted in the place of 1. What are the words? The, in, on, no, there's an article also given. So should it be the, in, on or with? Unlike the Britain, in Britain, on Britain or with Britain. It's clearly in, unlike in Britain, because the reference is to a place and what's going on in that place, or what the reference is to what's taking place or what is important pertaining to that place. So, in this country, in this place, in Britain, the Indian Constitution has a Bill of Rights. Okay, so what's the answer? The answer is in. Let me write it here. Pick the most appropriate word to fill 5 in the given passage. Large, largest, largely or largely. So it's spelt differently. L-A-R-G-L-Y. 5. Here, let me read out from the beginning of the sentence here. The Indian Bill of Rights, in a certain measure, the pattern of the Constitution of the United States of America, but it has also borrowed largely from other constitutions. So, is it large from other constitutions? No, large is an adjective and we cannot use an adjective to modify the verb borrowed. Okay, it has borrowed large. No, it has borrowed largely from other constitutions. So, we go with largely and eliminate large and largest. Both of these are adjectives and of course, largest is a superlative. Now, between the third and fourth, both of which have the same word largely but spelt differently, which is correct? It is L-A-R-G-E-L-Y and not what's given in option 4. Okay, so we have the correct word or the appropriate word in option 3, which is largely. We have question number 23. Pick the most appropriate word to fill 2 in the given passage. On behalf, behalf of, on the behalf of, or on behalf of. So again, it's confusing. Come back to this after reading the part in which that number is mentioned. So it's here. Prior to the enactment of the Parliamentary Act of 1935, demands were made India for the incorporation into the Act a Bill of Rights. Demand were made on behalf India. Demands were made behalf of India. demands were made on the behalf of India, or demands were made on behalf of India. The correct expression is on behalf of. We do not insert the definite article before behalf, which is what makes 3 incorrect. We need the preposition on before behalf, which is missing in 2, and in the first one, behalf needs to be followed by of, which is missing in 1. So, what's the answer? On behalf of in option 4. Pick the most appropriate word to fill for in the given passage. Okay, go through that part. Let's do it. The Indian Bill of Rights dash in a certain measure the pattern of the Constitution of the US. The Indian Bill of Rights dash in a certain measure. The Indian Bill of Rights follows, followed, or following. Well, the Indian Bill of Rights dash in a certain measure the pattern of the Constitution of the United States of America, but it has also borrowed. So, the reference is to something which is contained or which is a part or a feature of the bill. So, we have to have a verb which is in the present tense, and because the reference is to the Indian Bill of Rights, the Bill of Rights, this phrase, the noun phrase is in singular form. Okay, Indian Bill of Rights. What is the subject? It's bill, which is singular and not rights. Okay, so these two things have to be borne in mind when looking at the choices and narrowing down to the correct one. So, the Indian Bill of Rights, follow is not correct because follow is a plural verb, and if we use this to or replace this verb in this form at that part of the paragraph, then we would give rise to a subject verb discord. Follows is correct. Followed is in past tense, which is not right, and following would be in the continuous form, which is also not grammatically appropriate. So, we go with option 2, follows, and that's what is meaningful here. Pick the most appropriate word to fill 3 in the given passage. The choices are accepted, accepting, acceptable, and acceptably. So, accepted is V2 or the past tense verb. Accepting is in the continuous form, or we can also consider it to be either a participle or even a gerund depending on the usage. Acceptable is an adjective and acceptably is an adverb. Now, let's read the part in which this number is mentioned and then decide which among these do we need to insert there. So, we go to the part in which this figure 3 is mentioned. This was not dashed to the Indian mind. Can we say this was not accepted to the Indian mind? This was not accepting to the Indian mind, acceptable or acceptably. Well, this was not acceptable, which means they did not accept it, and we need an adjective here, not a verb, not a gerund or a participle, and certainly not an adverb. Okay, so 3 is what is suitable at that part. Next, we have question number 26. The question given below consists of a set of labeled sentences. Out of the 4 options given below, select the most logical order of the sentences to form a coherent paragraph. So, we have a para jumbled and we have options given below. From after going through these and well, we do need to know which should be the first sentence, but because options are given, we will certainly get some help from them. So, we have to choose the correct answer from the options given below. Now, the approach should be that you look at the first letter of each of the choices. So, we have B, A, C and D? Well, we don't have a choice at all because each of the options begins with a different letter. So, we have to go through each and then decide which should be categorically the introductory sentence. Once we have done that, however, things will become easier because we then will not need to waste a lot of time into looking for other sentences to string or to sequence later on, because then that choice with which the para begins will be the correct answer. Okay. So, after we identify the introductory sentence, things will kind of become easier, but when you sit and prepare for this kind of question, make sure that you do arrive at a sequence on your own by taking a look at the clues in different sentences and ordering the sentences sequentially and then reading that sequence or arrangement so that you have clarity. Okay. A. Yet he is remembered with reverence and affection as a great reformer. Now, can we begin any paragraph with yet? What is yet? Yet is a contrast indicating conjunction. Okay. So, because we cannot begin with a sentence which opens with a contrast word or contrast conjunction, this clearly is not the introductory sentence. In addition to that, we have he. What is he? He is a pronoun, and a pronoun does what? It substitutes a noun, and we need to have that sentence before the sentence in which the noun to which he refers is mentioned. Now, because A cannot start the sequence or the paragraph, we can eliminate choice 2. Okay. B. People here are generally very open and accept religious and social changes with a positive attitude. People here, where? So, the reference is to people belonging to a certain place. Even B is an unsuitable starting sentence, and with this option 1 can be discarded. Okay. See now, for instance, Swami Dayanand Saraswati raised his voice against idol worship in Hindu Dharma. This begins with an example, for instance, and it certainly is trying to reinforce an idea, and that idea should precede this example. So, even C is not suitable as a starting sentence. We eliminate that choice which begins the sequence with C, and we've got the correct answer in the form of option 4 with the sequence D, B, C, A. So, it is D that initiates the discussion. India is a country which respects spirituality much more than materialism. Now we go to B because it says people here. Here where in India are generally very open and accept religious and social changes with a positive attitude. The example of this kind of outlook has been given in C, which says, for instance, Swami Dayanand Saraswati raised his voice against idol worship in Hindu Dharma, and then it concludes in A, which says, yet he is remembered. He refers to Swami Dayanand Saraswati with reverence and affection as a great reformer. Okay, so we have D, B, C, A as the meaningful sequence of these jumbled sentences, and it's given to us in choice 4. So the next one now is 27. Choose the order of the sentences marked A, B, C, D and E that forms a logical paragraph. So, even this is a para jumbled question, but the number of sentences given here has increased from 4 to 5, and of course, even here we have options. So, we need to take a look at the letters with which each option begins. 1 begins with C, 2 with A, 3 with B and 4 with E. So, we will take a look at A, B, C and E, and of course, give D a go. A. Such an intervention in political reforms in India has got inspiration from the Western societies. We cannot begin with A because it begins the idea with such an intervention. Such is a demonstrative word, here a demonstrative adjective, and it implies that this intervention to which it points has had a reference earlier. Okay, so with this, choice 2 gets eliminated. B. These organizations have emphasized on an approach towards political democracy that is rooted in the idea of civil society. These organizations is also something which tells us that we cannot have B as the first sentence of this paragraph, because even these is a demonstrative adjective and the organizations to which this phrase points have been mentioned previously. Okay, so now 3 gets eliminated. C. The ever-widening group of middle-class Indians is using NGOs to come face-to-face with India's poorer and working classes and to plant the ideas of rights and liberties across these communities. Now, this appears to be an introductory sentence, so let's just keep it as it is and then consider E. This bottom-up civil consciousness, though not rooted in Indian traditions, yet with non-political blah blah blah. So, this bottom-up civil consciousness, this again is a demonstrative word, and this tells us that we cannot consider choice 4 as a suitable choice, or in choice 4 whatever is given is not the correct order. Now, we get the correct answer as option 1, because the paragraph can begin with C, it moves on to D, then A, B and E. Okay, so this is how you understand these kind of questions have to be solved. In the following question, a sentence is divided into 4 parts A, B, C and D. Rearrange it in the proper sequence in order to make a meaningful sentence. Okay, so A says or unfair treatment. We cannot begin the sequence with A, of course, among the choices. We have not been given A anywhere. B, affirmative action is a policy. Now, affirmative action could be a sentence, the subject, is the verb and a policy the object. So, this could be the starting point of the sentence. C. That tries to make up. Now, that is what? It's a relative pronoun. So, we cannot go with any choice which begins with C. D. Against certain groups of people. Now, against certain groups of people otherwise may be good to start a sentence, but we have to look at what comes later. So, let's look at B for choice 1 which begins with B first. So, affirmative action is a policy that tries to make up for past discrimination. Well, that which points to policy and tells us that the policy tries to make up for past discrimination does seem meaningful. Or unfair treatment. So, past discrimination or unfair treatment both can be paired together, or they can be used to mention something about this affirmative action which is a policy that's described, and it could be something that is against certain groups of people. So, if we say affirmative action is a policy that tries to make up for past discrimination or unfair treatment against certain groups of people, this order does seem logical and meaningful. So, we can go with 1 as the correct answer. Now, we can eliminate, we need to eliminate the remaining, because against certain groups of people, affirmative action is a policy would be ungrammatical, and against certain groups of people that tries to make up for people that tries also is not grammatically logical or grammatically relevant.